It's Canto 1, 12th chapter, 20th verse. Esha data sharanyaha cha yata hi oshinaraha shibhi yashaha patanita svanam doshanti Iva Yajvanam Eshadata Sharanyascha Yatayo Shinara Shibi Yatayo Shinara Shibi Yashovitanita Svanam Doshantir Eva Yajvanam Ishadata Sharanyascha Yatayo Shinara Shibi Yashovitanita Svanam Doshantir Eva Yajvanam Ishadata Sharam Yascha Yataya Shoshinara Shibi Yashovitanita Svanam Doshantir Eva Yajvanam. Please speak, sing, chant. Ishadata Sharanyascha Yataya Shinashribi Ladies, please. Ishadasha Sharanyascha Shibi Anyone else? Esha Data Sharan Yatha Anshinan Satsubhi. Esha. Sorry. This child, Data, donor in charity, Sharanyaha, protector of the surrendered, Cha, and Yatha, as he, certainly, Oshanaraha, Ushanara, Shibhi, Shibhi, Yashaha, fame, Vitanita, disseminator, Svanam, of the kinsmen, Doshanti, Eva, like Bharat, the son of Dushyanta, Yajvanam, of those who have performed many sacrifices. Translation. This child will be a munificent donor of charity and protector of the surrendered. Does everybody know what munificent means? Raise your hand if you don't. Everybody knows? You don't? Oh, it's good. I'll define it. Okay, a munificent is one who is extremely charitable, big on giving. Lord Chaitanya is considered the most giving, the most munificent. Okay? So please remember, munificent means to be a big giver. Okay? Thank you. This child will be a munificent donor of charity and protector of the surrendered, like the famous King Shibi of the Ushanara country. And he will expand the name and fame of his family, like Bharat, the son of Maharaj Dushyanta. Oh, got the wrong page. Excuse me. So, the purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki. A king becomes famous by his acts of charity, performances of yajnas, protection of the surrendered, etc. A Kshatriya king is proud to give protection to the surrendered souls. This attitude of a king is called Ishvara Bhava, or factual power to give protection in a righteous cause. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord instructs living beings to surrender unto him, and he promises all protection. Okay? Let me hear one verse. You can give me in English or English and Sanskrit. Protection verse. Please, go ahead. Go nice and loud. Come on. Yeah, okay. Sharvadamat. Give the English, please. Loud. They want to hear. Good, wonderful, good. Anyone else have a surrender verse? There's quite a number of them. Come on, English. Good. I'm glad that some devotees are reading their Bhagavad Gita and memorizing. Thank you. Well, it inspires other devotees sitting here who may not know those verses that you mentioned to get on their horse. You know another one? Go ahead. Yeah, that's true. I don't think it's a Bhagavad Gita verse, but that's good enough for me. You got another one there. Go ahead. Let's hear the English. Okay? All right, moving on right along. Again, in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord instructs living beings to surrender unto him, and he promises all protection. The Lord is all-powerful and true to his word, and therefore he never fails to give protection to his different devotees. The king, being the representative of the Lord, must possess this attitude of giving protection to the surrendered souls at all risk. Maharaj Shibi, the king of Ushanara, was an intimate friend of Maharaj Yayati, who was able to reach the heavenly planets along with Maharaj Shibi. Maharaj Shibi was aware of aware of the heavenly planet where he was to be transferred after his death. And the description of this heavenly planet is given in the Mahabharata. That's Adi Parva 96.6-9. Maharaj Shibi was so charitably disposed that he wanted to give over his acquired position in the heavenly kingdom to Yayati. But he did not accept it. Yayati went to the heavenly planet along with the great rishis like Ashtaka and others. So do we know who Yayati is? Yayati is a very famous king. He didn't give birth, but his wife did, to 5 very well-known Kshatriyas. And one of them we keep talking about all the time. What is the name of that dynasty? Yes, it's the Yadu dynasty. Yadu was one of his sons. On inquiry from the rishis, Yayati gave an account of Shibi's pious acts when all of them were on the path to heaven. He has become a member of the assembly of Yamaraj, who has become his worshipful deity. As confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, the worshipper of the demigods goes to the planets of the demigods. Okay? What chapter is that from? What was that? 9, yes it was, it is. He goes to the planets of the demigods, Yanti Deva Vrata Devan. So Maharaj Shibi has become an associate of the great Vaishnava authority, Yamaraj. On that particular planet, Yamaraj has his planet. While he was on the earth, he became very famous as a protector of surrendered souls and a donor of charities. The King of Heaven once took the shape, we're starting a little story here now. The King of Heaven once took the shape of a pigeon hunter, bird or eagle, and Agni, the fire god, took the shape of a pigeon. The pigeon, while being chased by the eagle, this was a test, by the way, to test King Shibi and to let us know the level, the degree of sacrifice that Shibi was not only able to, but eager to make in order to fulfill the ideals of a great king. Being chased by the eagle, took shelter on the lap of Maharaj Shibi, the pigeon, went on his lap. And the hunter eagle wanted the pigeon back from the king. The king wanted to give it some other meat to eat, and requested the bird not to kill the pigeon. The hunter bird refused to accept the king's offer, but it was settled later on that the eagle would accept flesh from the body of the king of the pigeon's equivalent weight. The king began to cut flesh from his body to weigh it in the balance equivalent to the weight of the pigeon. But the mystic pigeon always remained heavier. The king then, I think he's Agni Dev, the king then put himself on the balance to equate with the pigeon. So, in other words, his weight had to come up to that of the pigeons. So what he was doing, he was cutting off flesh, okay, and putting it on the balance, the scale. But every time he put it on the scale, still, the flesh did not come up to the level of the pigeon's weight. So that meant he had to cut off more flesh to try to get it up to the weight of the pigeon. So more flesh, 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 flesh. He was a mass of blood, let me tell you that. So Maharaj Shibi sacrificed his own, well, we'll get to that in a moment. The king of heaven and the fire god, yes, so he doesn't give the end. Let me give the ending of the story here. So you'll find it in Mahabharata. So what happened is that he kept cutting off the flesh until all the flesh on his body was gone. He was fleshless. In other words, here we have a grown man and all the flesh doesn't even equal the weight of a pigeon. This was uncanny, but of course he was a great lover of God, and his belief, his understanding was the Lord must be doing something to create this very unique, unusual, amazing situation. Because no human being, after he cuts all the flesh, that flesh cannot be lighter than a pigeon. It's got to be heavier, but it wasn't heavier. So, but he was a complete, deep devotee of the Lord. He was so detached that he understood that whatever happens, even if it's unique, if it's unusual, it's unbelievable, the Lord must be having his say in this matter in order to test him, to create some particular situation, to teach all of us how to be sacrificial and not worry about our little losses. In his case, cut off all the flesh, and what did he do? He sat down on the scale, and still he was lighter than the pigeon. So, moving on with the story. Anyway, what happens is that all the demigods, after they see all this, they begin to acclaim him as being one of the most sacrificial persons. That's why he's being mentioned in the in this purport and also in the translation. He's being mentioned because he's known for his great, amazing determination and endurance for pain and suffering. He didn't complain. There was no, I'm bleeding, get the Band-Aids. There wasn't anything like that. He just took it. He just did it. So, moving on. Devarshi, and the king was blessed by the king of heaven, thank you. The king of heaven and the fire god disclosed their identity, and the king was blessed by them. Devarshi Narada also glorified Maharaj Shibi for his great achievements, specifically in charity and protection. You see, he gave a promise to this pigeon. The pigeon came flying down on his lap and said, "Protect me against this eagle. He wants to eat me." He said, "I will do that. I am the king. It is my business to protect all my subjects, and you too are my subjects." And Srila Prabhupada makes a big thing of that everyone in the kingdom is a subject. And it is the king's business to protect them where and when possible. Maharaj Shibi sacrificed his own son for the satisfaction of human beings in his kingdom. And thus, child Parikshit was to become a second Shibi in charity and protection. So this is an example that is given. In other words, the Brahmins now are speaking and giving somewhat of a horoscope. They're talking about the qualities, achievements, abilities, and accomplishments that King Parikshit would have and make, so that being told a very great king has just been born. So everyone should be very happy, enthused, enlivened that such a great king was to be born. And thus child Parikshit was to become a second Shibi in charity and protection. That's gone pretty far. Doshyanti Bharat. There are many Bharatas in history, of which Bharat, the brother of Lord Ram, Bharat, the son of King Rishabha, and Bharat, the son of Maharaj Dushyanta, 3 are very famous. And all these Bharats are historically known to the universe. This earth planet is known as Bharat, or Bharatvarsha, due to King Bharat, the son of Rishabha. Sorry. But according to this land is known as Bharat due to the reign of the son of Dushyanta. So remember, there are 3 Bharats. So far as we are convinced, this land's name, Bharatvarsha, was established from the reign of Bharat, the son of King Rishabha. Before him, the land was known as Ilarvata Varsha. But just after the coronation of Bharat, the son of Rishabha, this land became famous as Bharatvarsha. I'll read that again. Before him, the land was known as Ilarvata Varsha. But just after the coronation of this Bharat, the son of Rishabha, this land became famous as Bharatvarsha. I was always curious about that, which Bharat it was named after, but here we be given an answer. But despite all this, Bharat, the son of Maharaj Dushyanta, was not less important. He is the son of the famous beauty Shakuntala. Maharaj Dushyanta fell in love with Shakuntala in the forest, and Bharat was conceived. After that, Maharaj forgot his wife Shakuntala by the curse of Kanva Muni, and the child Bharat was brought up in the forest by his mother, Shakuntala. Even in his childhood, he was so powerful that he challenged the lions and elephants in the forest and would fight with them as little children play with cats and dogs. In my book, The Mystical Stories from the Mahabharata, you see the artist who did the job, he did such an incredibly great picture of it, and it shows this little 5-year-old boy holding up a lion, and the lion can't do anything. It's absolutely amazing. So he was known for his power, for his strength, his fierceness, his intrepidness, courage. Because of the boys becoming so strong, more than the so-called modern Tarzan. I didn't know that Prabhupada was familiar with Tarzan. I mean, that's like from my day. Tarzan was known as he was born in a forest, and he used to swing from vines, That's how he traveled from one place to another. He would get on the vine. Anybody know Tarzan? Saw the movies? Okay, so he fly. And what did he do when he would go from vine to vine? What did he do? Yeah, right. Oh! Yeah, pardon? A TV series. Okay, well, that's good. See, I saw it when it was on the movies in the 40s. Really. So you know where I'm coming from. So, because of the boys becoming so strong, more than the so-called modern Tarzan, the rishis in the forest called him Sarvadamana, or one who is able to control everyone. A full description of Maharaj Bharat is given in the Mahabharata. Adi Parva, the Pandavas or the Kurus are sometimes addressed as Bharat due to being born in the dynasty of the famous Maharaj Bharat, the son of King Dushyanta. Yeah, Krishna refers to him that way. He refers to him as O Bharat throughout the Bhagavad Gita. O Bharat. Actually, it's a compliment because he's complimenting as being one of the strongest, the most powerful, the greatest. So we'll move on to the comments on this particular commentary. Oma Gyanati Mirandasya Ananjana Halakaya Chakshur Unmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my humble obeisances unto his lotus feet. So this purport is full of meaning and value and usefulness to all of us. Basically, when Srila Prabhupada has given this little story of King Shibi, it is to teach us a very, very strong and powerful and useful lesson. King Shibi was unafraid of anything. I mean, how many of us here are ready to cut even one little half an inch of flesh off his arm? No, nobody. I didn't think so. So, yeah, it's not easy. And he cut all the flesh of his body off, and then he somehow got himself up onto the scale and sat there, and still he was in debt, so to speak. So it's mentioned in the Mahabharata that this king would never be forgotten as a result of this particular sacrifice, because it is an amazing feat. This is only one of his many feats. So what it teaches us is that we don't have to go around cutting off our flesh. That's not the idea. What the idea is that we should take shelter of Krishna, depend upon Krishna, serve Krishna with all our heart and soul, and remember this great king, and also remember that whatever sacrifices, whatever surrender we are manifesting is nothing compared to this Shibi. So sometimes the devotee said, well, I mean, I'm doing devotional service, but I did 13 hours of service on book distribution today. I mean, that's plenty. That's nothing next to King Shibi. And from another point of view, we have so much arrears or debt to Krishna as a result of the enormous amount of sins that we have committed, not only in this lifetime, but in so many lifetimes. Every time you commit an offense, you owe something. Offense means that you cause some pain, you cause some suffering, you cause some difficulty, you cause some tribulation, some doubt, some problem. So if you cause it, well, you have to get it back. And that's called a reaction. So Krishna is so merciful that he doesn't demand for every wrong, every offense, every evil, every sin that we did. He doesn't demand a like. He doesn't demand a like. Offense. He's not saying that well, you did this, now I'm going to give you this. Now, for a person who is what we call a karmi, or a person who is a non-devotee, and a person who has no understanding of the fact that he can never be Lord, although every moment of his life he's trying to be the Lord of all he surveys, that it's a no-brainer. It can't be done. It will never be done. But the person in his madness, in his stupidity, in his folly, thinks, what do you mean it can't be done? If, as they say, if you put your mind to anything, you can be that, you can do that, you can accomplish that. This is the self-esteem school, how you win self-esteem. Yes, I will just be courageous. I will be courageous. I will be courageous. You say it over and over and over and over again. But that doesn't make any change within. It's an external change. It's a change in the mouth. and making sound in the mouth does not give you courage. But when a devotee takes shelter of Krishna, and Krishna, by his mercy, by his kindness, by his sweetness, injects with his own desire to give the devotee strength and power and perseverance, when Krishna injects from his own heart into the heart of the devotee will feel strength, will feel confidence, will feel determination. I know, going back years and years, how many things I was afraid of, even to get up and speak, quivering. But if you pray to Krishna, you cry to Krishna, Krishna, I'm weak. I can't do it. But you can do anything. You can do everything. You are everything. You are within everything, outside everything. Can you give me a little help? Little, I'll give you a lot. Because you're so humble. You're so retired. You're willing to admit that you have some weakness. I'll help you. So that kind of courage that Krishna injects into our heart, it gives us a real strength because it's coming from God, which is real. But this, I will be strong, I will be strong, I will be, it's just in the mouth. It's a fake. It's unreal. And this self-esteem nonsense doesn't go anywhere. If you want real esteem, as Srila Prabhupada says so often, gain it, get it, obtain it from the one who has more esteem than anyone anywhere in the entire universe, in all universes, and that is Krishna. And if we get our esteem from Krishna, and basically that's where it comes from. It's like that prayer that I say, and some other devotees say, my dear Lord, I am nothing except what you make me. I have nothing except what you give me. I know nothing except what you teach me. I do nothing except what you enable me. I accomplish nothing except what you arrange for me. And I want nothing except pure love of your lotus feet through pure devotional service. For then I will have everything. And if I have everything, what more do I need? Nothing. So that's a nice prayer because in effect what the devotee is saying is that all this accomplishment, all this prestige, all this glorification, all this honor is not mine. It belongs to Krishna. He's lending it to me, and just as he's lending it to me, he can remove it or take it away from me. And a very smart, accomplished devotee knows this. So he never allows himself to get proud. Oh, gee, just see my mastery. Just see how I speak. Look at my verses. I can shoot off 100 verses within 10 minutes. How masterful. How glorious. Who can do that? You know, that King, Lord Chaitanya, he put him down. He smashed him because he thought he was very, very powerful. Anybody remember his name? Keshava Kashmiri, yes. He thought there was no one like him. So that's a good example of what I'm just saying. We should never think we're important, we're powerful, we're great, we're anything. All credit must be given to Krishna. Thank you. Again, Krishna. Krishna. Good, I like that. There he is. There's the king right there. So, yes, Krishna gives it to us. So when the temptation comes, and this is a little instruction here, I use it, and I'm learning and growing and developing from it, and all of you are too, if you're doing it, and if you're not, you will. All you have to do is, my dear Lord Krishna, okay, so many people are complimenting me, approving me, clapping for me, showing adoration for me. It all belongs to you. Therefore, I give it first to my spiritual master because I could never meet you unless I first met my spiritual master, who then gave me the potency by his good wishes like we say that, by the mercy of the spiritual master, one receives the benediction of Krishna. Without the grace of the spiritual master, one cannot make any advancement. Therefore, I should always remember my spiritual master at least 3 times a day. Let me offer my spiritual master. So, with that prayer in mind, which we sing every morning, the devotee gives all the greatness, the glory, the wonder, the amazement. Give it to your spiritual master. And then understand that the spiritual master, who is not a power unto himself, but is a dependent of the Supreme Lord, will give it over to the Supreme Lord, to whom it belongs. So, whatever we get belongs to ultimately the Supreme Lord. But we have no right to be proud. We have no right to think we're important. We have no right to applaud ourselves. We have no right to tell people, hey, did you know I did this and this? Hey, I distributed 5,000 books today. Did you hear about it? Or, no, we're nothing. If Krishna came down and did book distribution and he let you do 5,000, he could do 100,000 in one day. There is nothing he cannot do. So when we think of ourselves, whether we're tall or short or whatever, or whether we have a lot of money, no money, it all belongs to Krishna. It's coming to us from Krishna. And we should always be gladdened and grateful to Krishna for giving it to us, because we can use it in the loving service of Krishna. Sometimes I see the Christians, some of the saints, they're saying, this world is horrible. Money is bad. They don't know the program of Yukta Vairagya of Rupa Goswami. He never says money is bad. Sorry. He never says money is bad. He never says wealth is bad. He says all of this can be used in the loving service of Krishna. So how can you call it bad? It's bad if you only think it for material gain. But Rupa Goswami goes further. Why do we have to think of it for material gain? A palace can be used to worship Krishna. It could also be used to have, what you call sense gratificatory parties. You can have all these things. Is this the right time? I must be an illusion. Real big time. No, I saw Sora start heading out. I know I must be late. It is too late. So let me try to wrap this up as best as I can. It's a new year, so what the heck? So that's the idea there, that a devotee, he never keeps it for himself. And you have to repeat this mantra over and over and over, because you will keep it. You came here to be a Lord. That's why you'll keep it. But if you keep saying to yourself, no, I came here to be a Lord, but I can never be a Lord. So let me give it to the real Lord. The real Lord is Krishna. So I give it back to whom it actually, really and truly who deserves it. That's to you, Lord. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve you in this way. And thank you for trusting me with all this wealth and power and glamour, applause, all that. But I don't want it. I'll accept it on your behalf and give it back to you through my Guru Maharaj. So you can keep giving me all the money you want, all the power you want, all the everything and anything you want, because I'm not going to keep it. It's yours. So Krishna likes that. That's why he keeps giving to Prabhupada. He started, Prabhupada got a little bit. Then he gave more. Krishna gave him more and more. He had millions and millions of dollars coming in because devotees were taking the money, and what we were doing is buying more books and distributing more books. And so as a result, Krishna's mission was being disseminated. And that's what our goal must always be. I'm here for him and nothing else. And as long as I keep that in mind, I will be favored by him. As soon as I start to think I'm an entity unto myself, and I can do what I like, and I can be as big and great, as tremendous as I want to be, it's over. It's finished. It's gone. It's the end. You've lost it. And let me tell you, hundreds if not thousands of devotees in this movement I've seen over the last 43 years that I've been here have come and gone because they had just this particular mentality. And I want to prevent that. That's why I'm emphasizing it. That's why I'm almost shouting it. I want no one to fall down here. No one should fall down with this mentality. Every morning, say it. I am not an entity to myself. I am Krishna's servant. And as Krishna's servant, I will give everything that I receive back to Krishna, thinking that I'm always giving him too little because he's always giving me too much. Okay? Appreciating that he gives us too much, we can only be thankful, grateful, loving, serving, surrendered, submissive, and all giving. Thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki. All glories to Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Hare Krishna. My best wishes to all of you in this new year.